coming up from Arcadata, we have the Executive Vice President, Louise Morgan, here to talk to us a little bit more about integrated space and management, property management solutions. Louise, come on. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good, thank you for coming on the show.
Nice to meet you.
So tell me what Realcomm 2013 has been like for you.
So far?
Yeah.
I think that the willingness is here, because this morning they were talking about the 3 things that are supposed to change.
Yes.
One is that I think that all the solutions here should connect to each other.
Right.
2, we need a protocol to exchange data. But 3, people have to be ready. So I think 2013 is the year where property managers are going to say, okay, we're ready, let's do it.
Yeah.
And they really have to, because you remember the little bowl, the fish jumping? Well, I think a lot of the fish are going to jump this year.
What do you think's been the factor that's caused that? What's causing people's willingness to increase?
Well, I think basically because technology is there, the innovation is there, they have no more reasons not to do it.
Yeah.
So I think basically that's it.
It reminds me of how in the late 90s, early 2000s, email became practical and people had been resisting on it, just kind of said, well, I have to have it. And I think that once these smartphones, now we're all using all these applications so seamlessly, so easily, it feels like, well, why shouldn't we have it in our business applications?
And actually with our solution, a lot of the property managers think they have to wait until they have the perfect 3D model or all CAD plans, of their buildings to start implementing these solutions. But it's not true, because we use scanned paper plans, we use 2D CAD, we even use PDF, so there's no barrier to implementation. So I think they have all the data they need right now to start implementing these neat solutions.
Let's talk a little bit more about what Arcadata does exactly. Step us through briefly.
It's a property management solution, but we manage the space. We're sort of like a space data center, in the sense that by getting all the building plans, space building and floor plans, TIs, we're able to recreate the building in 3D. But the key here is to keep track of the change. That way we know that the space data is correct, and it's almost real time, and we're able to provide that data to all the other systems here at the show and at the conference. Because energy efficiency, they have to know if a room is a boardroom or if it's a mechanical room, and then they have to regulate the heating. Now, for property owners, if they merge units together, we have to tell other systems that 2 units have merged or 2 rooms have merged. So I think for us, it's keeping track of the change with all the spaces in a building.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty intense setup to do on a building, because I have to be walking around and measuring and telling you, well, this used to be a pump room, but now it's a heater room. So how do you get companies over that very steep curve of getting involved?
I think the big hurdle after TI is to get hold of the as-built, and that's a problem with all property managers, But we work with the client to make sure that they do get the as-built at the end of a tenant improvement. So it's keeping in touch with our clients, being informed of the changes, setting up procedures, because technology is 20% and human factor is 80%. So I think keeping in touch with our clients is key.
What do you see as the biggest story coming out of Realcomm 2013? What is the theme of this year, or the major takeaway that you're seeing?
Well, I think more and more vendors are talking to each other and they want to integrate, so that's number one. And as I said earlier in our conversation, is that I think the property owners are ready now to take the big step.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What's any last things that you can tell us about what you guys are doing and what you plan to be doing in the future?
Well, right now we're experts in BIM for existing buildings. So we will take our clients' data, 2D, AutoCAD, scan paper, and convert it to 3D. So that means you don't have to go out and measure your spaces in 3D. It can cost like 15 cents per square foot. With our system, it's a penny to implement, a penny a square foot to implement. So use the data that you have and leverage that to make your building way more efficient.
Very cool.
And making your employees a lot more efficient also.
Very cool and comfortable as well.
Yes, that's it.
Louise Morgan from Arcadata, thank you so much for coming
Well,
on and
thank you.
letting us know. My pleasure.